Well, I was having the best day of my life, ripping around Daytona like a bald eagle. I was flat out, avoided a wreck, which was awesome.
In just a few short months, one name started making people in NASCAR whisper. Some were excited, others were angry, but nobody could look away. How did a wild YouTuber with no racing past shake up one of the biggest sports in America? And why are NASCAR legends starting to take him seriously? The full story is way more surprising than anyone expected. At first, most people didn't think McFarland was serious about NASCAR. He was famous for jumping cars, not racing them. Many thought it was just another wild YouTube stunt. But when he showed up at Daytona in a real race suit to drive in the ARCA series, everyone saw he was serious about racing on a big stage. His first race didn't go well. He spun out and crashed into the wall. People online had strong opinions. Some were harsh, others disappointed. But instead of giving up, McFarland watched the race footage closely, admitted his mistakes, and asked experienced drivers for help. That changed everything. One of the first big names to speak up was Kenny Wallace. He's a longtime NASCAR driver who takes safety seriously. Wallace wasn't happy with McFarland using cameras and gear that didn't meet the rules. He warned that NASCAR isn't a place to just wing it. People can get hurt if things go wrong. For Wallace, this was about safety, not trying to keep newcomers out.
The fans are loving it. They know he's playing a character, and I love it too. So
the response hit hard, not just because it was harsh, but because it came from someone respected across all levels of racing. Instead of reacting defensively, McFarland responded with humility. He admitted to feeling like a fool after his missteps. He apologized publicly. He took the criticism seriously, and slowly, opinions began to shift. That shift became more noticeable when Greg Biffle, a veteran driver with 19 Cup Series wins, stepped forward to help. After McFarland's run at Charlotte, Biffle began mentoring him, reviewing footage, offering technical insights, and walking him through the nuances of positioning, pit communication, and tire management. This wasn't just a casual assist. It was a sign that someone from NASCAR's inner circle saw potential worth investing in. Biffle's guidance marked a turning point. It sent a message that McFarland wasn't just chasing clout. He was learning, he was improving, and he was earning respect from people who knew what it took to succeed at the highest levels. Kevin Harvick, another NASCAR icon, took a different approach. Rather than stepping in as a mentor, he invited McFarland onto his podcast. Their conversation was raw and unfiltered. Harvick didn't hold back. He made it clear that mastering NASCAR isn't something that happens overnight. But he also acknowledged McFarland's dedication. He saw the effort, he saw the hours being put in, and that, Harvick said, mattered.
He's the boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Life coach.
There you go.
Boss.
Everybody needs one.
Yeah. Biff and I met, he came and ran a Crown Vic race, but then when the Hurricane Helene thing happened.
These positive comments didn't remove all doubt, but they started to change the story. Some people still didn't think influencers belonged in racing, but others, including veteran drivers, were starting to give McFarland a chance. His journey became a way to see if NASCAR could grow without losing what makes it great. One of the most interesting things about McFarland is how honest he's been. He doesn't pretend to know everything. After races, he talks about what went wrong. In one race, he said he tried to copy faster drivers and ruined a tire. He talked about getting passed and feeling helpless. His honesty made people respect him more. In one race, he talked about getting his wing clipped by another car, using language more common in the YouTube garage than a NASCAR pit. But the point was clear. He was beginning to understand the aerodynamic chess game that unfolds at 180 miles per hour. He wasn't just out there for content anymore, he was out there trying to compete.
62 to go when they come to the line. Oh, look at, oh no! Oh, he spun the tires and then spinning into the wall of the 55 of Robusto.
Still, the community remained divided. Supporters argued that McFarland could be the bridge NASCAR needs, a way to connect with younger fans who grew up online, not in the bleachers. His YouTube empire wasn't a distraction, they said. It was a new kind of pipeline, one that could bring fresh eyes and fresh energy to a sport battling declining viewership. Critics weren't convinced. They raised valid concerns. NASCAR isn't just a show. It's a high-risk, high-speed sport where one mistake can take out half the field. Was it really smart to open the doors to influencers who hadn't paid their dues in local short tracks or dirt ovals? Were teams compromising integrity for attention? McFarland didn't avoid the hard questions. He admitted to breaking rules and making mistakes. He said sorry for causing crashes and began working to get better. He hired a skilled crew chief, joined team meetings, and watched races to learn more. At Kansas Speedway, fans saw the payoff. McFarland didn't win. He didn't even finish near the front. But he drove smart. He held his line. He stayed out of trouble. And most importantly, he brought the car home in one piece. That quiet, competent performance said more than any viral clip ever could. Afterward, he reflected on his technical growth. He recalled giving the car too much throttle without realizing it didn't have a restrictor plate. That mistake led to another crash, but this time, he understood what went wrong. He could articulate it. He was evolving from a content creator who dabbled in racing into a racer who understood content. Now the big question is, can McFarland keep growing as both a racer and a media star? Some people think doing both will hurt his racing. Others think NASCAR needs someone like him, someone who can race and also reach new fans online. Regardless of which side you're on, McFarland's journey is already reshaping conversations in NASCAR circles. He's forcing a reckoning with tradition. He's pushing the boundaries of what a modern driver can be. And he's opening doors for others who might never have considered a path to professional racing. Whether he becomes a mid-pack mainstay or eventually contends for wins, McFarland's story is proof that racing is evolving, and NASCAR's biggest names are paying attention. Some are skeptical, some are supportive, but no one is ignoring him. His ability to take criticism, respond with action, and improve over time is what's making people reconsider their initial judgments. He didn't come in trying to change the sport, but his presence is changing it anyway, simply by forcing it to confront new realities. For fans, the story is captivating because it's real, it's messy, it's full of risk and redemption, and it's happening in real time. Every race is another test, every mistake is another lesson, and every small win is another step toward legitimacy. In the end, the question isn't just whether Cleetus McFarland belongs in NASCAR, it's what his story says about where the sport is going. Can NASCAR remain true to its roots while welcoming outsiders who learn by doing instead of growing up in the system? Can influencers become professionals without cheapening the craft? Cleetus hasn't answered all those questions yet, but he's making sure they get asked, and that, in itself, is a victory. What do you think? Should NASCAR embrace more media personalities who are serious about racing, or is the track no place for experimentation? Let us know in the comments, and if you want to keep following Cleetus McFarland's wild ride through the ranks, hit that like button and subscribe. The story is just getting started.
What do you think?
Oh man, he's the real deal. At first I wasn't sure, but the guy's earning respect. He's bringing the fun back.
62 to go when they come to the line.
Oh, look at, oh no!
Oh, he spun the tires and then spinning into the wall is the 55 of Robusto.
NASCAR drivers dropped a bombshell about one of the most unexpected names in the garage, Cleetus McFarland. Known for burnout contests and crazy car stunts on YouTube, Cleetus is now racing with the pros. But what shocked everyone? Real drivers are split. Some love it, some hate it. And the debate? It's only getting louder. Cleetus McFarland, a name that once meant YouTube laughs and wild car videos, is now printed on a real race car. At first, nobody took him seriously. He was the guy from Freedom Factory, not a future NASCAR driver. But when he pulled up at Daytona for his ARCA debut with Reddy Jones Racing, things changed. This wasn't a quick stunt. It was the start of something real. Sure, he crashed, but instead of quitting, he got serious. Cleetus started watching race tape, studying laps, and asking for help from veteran drivers. He studied race footage obsessively, analyzed my mistakes, and started seeking advice from people who'd done this for decades. He wasn't just playing around, he wanted to learn. Not everyone was impressed. NASCAR veteran Kenny Wallace didn't hold back. He slammed Cleetus for using an unauthorized in-car camera setup and wearing safety gear that didn't follow NASCAR rules. Wallace said clearly, "You don't just show up and freestyle your way through, there are lives on the line." This wasn't about gatekeeping, it was about safety and respect. His strong words echoed across the NASCAR world, But instead of causing a fight, this moment helped Cleetus see just how serious the sport really is. Instead of lashing out or brushing it off, Cleetus did something surprising. He apologized.
Down there, you're good. Nobody's gaining on you at all. It's just down here, 3 and 4 is tough. So just wait just a little bit longer before you really commit back to the throttle and make sure that left front's low.
He admitted his mistakes and showed he was serious about learning. That humility opened doors. People started thinking, maybe he's not just some internet guy. Maybe he really wants to earn it. Cleetus acknowledged in his interviews that NASCAR is a completely different challenge than anything he had faced before. For many in the racing world, that kind of self-reflection changed everything. Then came a major moment. Greg Biffle, a legend with 19 Cup wins, offered to help. After Cleetus raced at Charlotte, Biffle mentored him, breaking down his driving, pointing out areas for improvement and teaching him pit road communication. Biffle didn't just offer technical advice, he offered belief. It was a big deal when someone that accomplished said, "I'll help you figure this out." That wasn't just support, it was a signal to the rest of NASCAR that Cleetus was worth investing in. Another giant of NASCAR, Kevin Harvick, brought Cleetus on his podcast. The conversation was straight to the point, no sugarcoating. The veteran made it clear that mastering NASCAR is no quick task, emphasizing that it's a craft learned over time. Yet, Harvick also acknowledged the dedication he saw in Cleetus, noting that the effort and determination he was putting in truly mattered. Hearing such a balanced mix of challenge and encouragement from one of NASCAR's most respected voices gave Cleetus credibility and showed the garage that he was serious about earning his place. Every race taught Cleetus something new. After one race, he admitted,
I think I ran every single possible line through 3 and 4.
I saw that.
And I think I just killed the front right on the car.
Yeah, it's
trying to keep up with those dudes. And then those last 15, when they were passing me, there was literally nothing I could do.
And when he got past, he said, "I was fighting for my life in there. I could not catch up."
It's like getting your freaking wing clipped
Yeah.
when they come out on your outside. Holy,
Yes.
the first time that happened, I'm lucky I didn't take that dude outside of me out. And
Very
myself.
lucky.
These weren't just funny quotes. They showed real growth. Cleetus was learning the hard way and sharing it openly. Cleetus's rise split the NASCAR world in half. Supporters saw him as a bridge for younger fans who follow YouTube. Critics raised safety concerns. Was NASCAR risking too much by letting influencers race? Could social media fame outweigh real skill? These were fair questions, but Cleetus didn't hide. After causing an accident, he said on Fox Sports, "I want to start out by apologizing to the team that I took out. I think it was several cars. I just feel terrible. Every time I go racing, I don't want to get taken out. I felt it. It sucks." His emotional honesty helped people see that he wasn't just doing this for views. Off camera, Cleetus was grinding. He expanded his team. He added a veteran crew chief. He even attended closed-door meetings just to learn. He started showing up at races he wasn't driving in, just to observe pit calls and race flow. He said, "I've been sent home, and I made a complete rookie maneuver on the restart. I zigged, and then I zagged, and then she was blowing my door off, and on the zag, I hit her and put her in the wall. I feel terrible about it. I know those guys work hard to be out here. It sucks to send them home." But what stood out was that he kept going. He kept learning. At Kansas Speedway, Cleetus put it all together. He didn't crash. He didn't overdrive. He finished clean. He said, "I forgot there was no dang restrictor plate on this thing. I'm like, wham! Gave her the beans. It steps out, and then I clipped Robusto. Just feels bad, but we'll move forward." That race might not have made headlines, but it marked real growth. He showed patience, maturity, and control. That's what wins over NASCAR veterans, not flash, but steady improvement. Now, people are asking, can Cleetus be both a digital star and a real racer? Some think it's a dangerous mix. Entertainment and motorsport don't always blend well. Others say it's exactly what NASCAR needs to grow. Cleetus is pulling in new fans, many of them young and digitally native, who are discovering NASCAR for the first time. At the same time, he's working hard behind the scenes, trying to earn respect lap by lap. His story isn't just about racing, it's about transformation. He's learning a new world while still being himself. That balancing act might just be his biggest challenge yet, but it could also be what helps NASCAR connect with a new generation of fans who care about personality as much as performance. Cleetus McFarland might have started out burning tires for YouTube views, but now he's burning rubber with some of NASCAR's best. What started as a wild idea is turning into one of the most talked about journeys in modern racing. He's faced criticism, made mistakes, and owned up to them every time. More importantly, he's kept showing up, and that counts. As legends like Harvick, Biffle, and Wallace continue to weigh in on his progress, one thing's for sure, this story is still being written. Whether you see him as a trailblazer or a troublemaker, Cleetus McFarland is forcing NASCAR to look in the mirror and ask, who belongs on this track? And why? And that question might be the most important lap he's ever taken.
He just loses it, all on his own.
Oh, Kyle Larson with problems.
I got no brakes.
No brakes is the call.
Yeah, I heard no brakes, and you heard Cliff Daniels get right on the radio to bring it to us. So it sounds like the 5 will be coming to pit road. He was running 24th.
But 24th from quite a distant qualifying effort of 26th, which is highly unusual.
You know that feeling when everything that can go wrong does go wrong? Well, Kyle Larson just lived through every NASCAR driver's absolute worst nightmare at Watkins Glen. What happened to the 2021 Cup Series champion wasn't just bad luck. It was a complete disaster that might have just ended his shot at this year's regular season championship. Imagine being Kyle Larson behind the wheel of your #1 car. 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet on a formidable NASCAR road course. Despite a 26th place qualifying run, you've conquered Watkins Glen twice previously. Confident in your ability to advance. As the green flag waves, you're poised to make your ascent through the ranks. But then, just 6 laps into the race, barely enough time to get your tires warmed up, everything goes horribly wrong. Larson was running mid-pack when he approached turn 1, that scary 90-degree corner that's caught out plenty of drivers over the years. Suddenly his car started spinning, and the words that came over his radio told the whole story. I got no brakes. Think about that for a second. You're flying down a racetrack at over 100 miles per hour, and your brakes just stop working. That's not just scary, that's terrifying. Larson somehow managed to keep his car under control and avoid a major crash, but his day was basically over before it even started. His crew chief, Cliff Daniels, immediately called him down pit road. When Larson limped his car into the pits, the team quickly figured out what went wrong. It wasn't just a simple brake problem, it was a complete brake line failure. Daniels got on the radio and told his team they needed to change the entire brake line. Now, changing a brake line during a race isn't like changing tires. This is major surgery on a race car. Larson had to go behind the wall, which in NASCAR terms means your day is pretty much done. While other drivers were racing for stage points and track position, Larson was sitting in the garage watching his championship hopes slip away. Daniels was clearly frustrated when he talked to NASCAR.com after the race. He said, "Incredibly unfortunate because I really wish that it would have shown up yesterday or at any point sooner than 5 laps into the start of the race." When the team looked at the car, they found brake fluid pouring out of the lines. That's not something you can patch up quickly. The team worked frantically to replace the brake line, bleed the brakes, and get Larson back on track. But in NASCAR, every lap you're behind the wall cost you big time. By the time Larson returned to the race at lap 22, he was already 16 laps down. In a sport where races are often decided by seconds, being 16 laps behind is like being in a different time zone. But here's where the story gets even worse for Larson. This wasn't just about one bad race. Going into Watkins Glen, Larson was sitting pretty in the championship hunt. He was only 45 points behind his teammate, William Byron, for the regular season championship. With just 2 races left in the regular season, that gap was totally manageable. Larson knew how important this race was. During his media session on Saturday, he talked about needing a strong run at Watkins Glen to chase down Byron and Chase Elliott, who was sitting second in points. He had a real shot at winning his second regular season title. But after finishing 39th at Watkins Glen, Larson's championship dreams took a massive hit. He didn't just stay 45 points behind Byron, he fell to 85 points back. That's a 40-point swing in the wrong direction, and with only 2 races left, it's basically game over for the regular season championship. What makes this even more painful is that this isn't the first time Larson has had bad luck this season. Ever since he failed to complete the double back in May, That's when he tried to run both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 on the same day. His season has been up and down. In the last 5 races before Watkins Glen, Larson had finished 28th or worse 3 times. For a driver of his caliber, that's just not normal. The really frustrating part for Larson and his team is that they know they have speed. Daniels mentioned that they've shown up with fast cars in recent weeks, but they just can't put together complete races. It's like having a Ferrari that breaks down every time you try to drive it. All that potential, but nothing to show for it. Even after going behind the wall, Larson's team tried to make the best of a terrible situation,